Berenice, where are you calling in from?
I'm from Mexico.
Hi,
Hello,
you're on with Jeremy.
Hi. Well, hi.
Hello, how
I'm
are you?
actually very nervous. I'm very nervous because I love Julie and the Phantoms, and I watched it 2 times because I told my sister that I wanted to rewatch it again, but she said that I need a break because then I will have a problem.
No, you don't have a problem. You
like,
watch as many times as you want.
my question is, how many scenes did you improvise on the JTP set?
Great question. I think like scenes, for the most part, as far as scenes go, everything's pretty much written. That it's just like little bits in scenes we would improvise quite a bit. So there's like at Caleb's Club, for instance, at the end of it where they kind of put the burgers and the pizza and the stuff on the table. I think once they set it down, the rest of that is pretty much improvised. And then like there's a scene where me and Luke are talking about some lyrics that Julie wrote, and he's like, "Oh, it's like, my secrets. I know all your deep dish. Does that mean something?" And there's a line where I go like, when Julie says deep dish, is she talking about like pizza or? And that was improvised, and we did that. That was actually, I didn't think that would make it into the show. It was just kind of a joke because we had this inside joke every time that we would sing the song in rehearsal. We would say deep dish pizza, and just as a joke, they needed something to intro the scene, so I did that. And then they were like, "Yeah, that's great. Keep saying it." And I was like, "Really?" And then the other thing that I can think of is there's a bit where it's a good chunk of the ending of the scene actually. Where like Luke comes over and he's like, and we're like, "Oh, you got chemistry with Julie," and he's like, "No, I have chemistry with anyone when I sing," and we're like, "Okay," and then he's like, "No, I swear," and then he starts singing and he comes closer to Reggie and he like does the whole thing and Reggie's like, "Whoa." Pretty much after the only part of that where does it start? I think everything's improvised from the only line that was written was "I see chemistry," I think. I think the rest of that is all completely improvised after that. And also, like, me and Charlie, like, a lot of times we just, like, messing with each other and just seeing, like, how far you can take a scene, basically. And sometimes, like, it's just, we're doing it, honestly, just for the fun of it. And then a lot of times we don't realize, we don't think it's going to make it into the show. And then, like, later it stays in the edit and we're like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, me and Charlie will just do as much of that as possible, and it's so fun. But yeah, those are the three things that I know were off the top of my head that I know were improvised. I'm sure there's a lot more than that too, but those are the ones that I know of.
Which one was your favorite?
Which one's my favorite? Out of those, I think probably the Luke, Alex, Reggie chemistry scene, just because it makes me laugh every single time. And like Charlie just full on committed to it. He just full committed and was like, he was trying to make me as uncomfortable as possible the whole time. And it turned out perfectly. Honestly, like I love watching that scene now. It's one of my favorites. It was one of those scenes where like you do it on set and you're like, that worked.